Welcome to day 263 of the 300 movie challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of April 2016, which was The Jungle Book.
So I assume all of us have seen the original film.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure I did at some point.
I don't remember much from the original film, but I remember watching it at some point.
I only remember like the ending and like the one scene where Mowgli ties the torch to Shere Khan's tail.
Oh, I didn't remember that part. I remembered the fact that the vultures were supposed to be like the beetles.
Oh yeah, the vultures.
Yeah.
I don't
Which-
remember any of this.
But so I guess going into this film. um
It's definitely like obviously a different style from the original.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's fine. If anything, like, there's all these issues right now of like, oh, Disney's remakes are all, lazy cash grabs or whatever. And it's like, well, if you are going to tell the story in a noticeably different way, then like that's like an all right reason, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, which is kind of what they did here because
Yeah.
the ending is different.
Yeah. So I'm not against like this movie existing on principle. I guess okay, so we should get the main thing out of the way. Almost everything in this movie besides Mowgli was CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the animals, all the backgrounds, like everything.
Yeah.
So the fact that they could do that is technically extremely impressive.
Yeah, especially since the entire thing looked pretty realistic. I mean, the animals, obviously, you would be like, those aren't real animals. But
Yeah.
the backgrounds and everything are pretty impressive. all
Yeah, the
things
environments
considered.
are extremely good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animals, like, they sometimes, like, they move a little weird. Sometimes I found they're, like, a little bit too floaty. Again, like, just a tiny bit. The only other thing that I can kind of bring up is that there's kind of a weird lighting on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, like, I'm not really sure what it is exactly, and if anything, I noticed that, like, the movie just kind of... It's a little bit yellow.
It is, yeah.
And it's kind of an odd lighting, and I wonder if maybe that's just it. That's kind of what made the effects like work better, or I don't know.
I have no idea.
I
Because
wouldn't be able to say.
from what I remember, and again, this is just a really I saw this once. The Lion King like trailer, that was kind of yellow too,
Oh, really?
if I'm remembering right. So I'm wondering if like that's just for some reason that's the lighting that works best for this kind of stuff. I don't know. But either way, again, so technically it's very impressive. But then my kind of next step is then, okay, but taking that out of that, is this like a super pretty, like, well shot, fantastic cinematography movie? It's not really. Like, it's not bad by any means. And again, even ignoring the technical aspect of it, it's fine, but like,
Pretty average, I guess.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
if this wasn't CGI, listen again in terms of like the backgrounds and the shots and stuff like that, it's good but not great. But so it's kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know how to like really completely judge it in a sense because it's like again there's the technical aspect of it, but then there's the actual like artistic aspect of it. Right?
I guess
Yeah.
in that way, it just kind of breaks even because, like, it's like, okay, you have the CGI, it looks really good, but otherwise the shots, which they could have, like, manipulated with the CGI technology, then maybe they could have done a little bit more with it. So I would say it kind of just breaks even
I mean-
in the middle.
I could see the thing of like, oh well, you need the CGI to have all the animals doing all this stuff, and it's like, okay, I can believe that.
Yeah.
At the same
Yeah.
time, though, I'm like, Babe doesn't look that much worse than this. And
Yeah,
that
that
came
was
out
done with-
21 years before.
Yeah.
So,
Animatronics and animals.
yeah. So, it's like, no, obviously the scale is way different. So,
Yeah.
but still, it's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's like, oh my god, this is not like watching this is not how I felt like watching like Avatar, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was much more visually interesting in
Yeah.
terms of what was going on. So, but still, that is good, and so okay, fine. Besides that, though, like, to me,
But-
this
Or
is
you go ahead.
okay. To me, this movie is kind of the definition of like everything is fine. I just am not super invested. That's kind of how I see it. Like, everything is objectively fine. I don't really see anything that's great. I don't really see anything that's horrible. And I'm just kind of... I'm not, like, bored out of my mind. I just think I'm like, okay, that was fine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I am with it. So, there are some odd things to it. Like, there's a couple scenes that just seem to kind of happen, and then, like, that's it. The main...
And then the random singing is a bit odd.
Yeah, like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like in the original movie it worked out much better.
Because that was the
but-
tone of the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
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 But I was also going to say that a lot of the characters actually turned, like, in the original movie, like, Ka was kind of a pathetic snake and everything, too.
Yeah,
Like,
Ka
kind of
here
the
is,
comic
like...
relief.
Ka is, I mean, like, I guess okay, but, like, you see, well, her, I guess, for, like, 2 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So that was an example of a scene that just kind of happens, and then that's it. The other one, which I guess is a longer scene, but that is the whole thing with King Louis and the monkeys. It's like, okay, that happened. So what? Right? Like, though it seemed like the only reason that scene happened was just they could get Christopher Walken to sing the song, which is really awkward in a funny way. But, like, okay, his acting as King Louis is kind of interesting, but yeah, this singing is like, okay, this is odd.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, I think in the original it was, like, such a happy song
Yeah,
thing, but here it's kind of terrifying.
yeah. So again, well, that's the thing. It's like, if kind of what I said before, if you're gonna remake this, tell it in a different way, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
against it, but in concept, but again, the singing of that in that context, especially compared to the rest of the movie, is odd.
Considering the tone of this movie, they should have cut all of the singing.
I think so. I mean, from what I understand from the Mulan remake, I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore, but apparently in the Mulan remake, they were going to cut all the songs and everything, and it's like, this probably would have been a good movie to cut all the songs from, too.
Instead.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
again, it depends on the tone, because I can see like a much more serious kind of Mulan movie that it doesn't work
yeah.
with the songs, right?
Well,
now, granted,
that is, yeah.
you could
that's
still maybe
true.
say that like you don't like that version of Mulan, so fine. But if you're going for that kind of tone, then it makes sense, right?
There is already.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sorry.
Like, here, I don't know what they're doing for Mulan, but if they were going to cut the songs from there, I think that should have been also on the table here too.
I was just gonna say that there is a Chinese version of like an actual serious war-based Mulan
Mm-hmm.
from 2009.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've wanted to watch it, but I never got around to it.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, again, the Jungle Book is it is originally the Jungle Book, right? By
Yeah.
Rudyard Kipling, and like as far as I know, that book doesn't have singing bears and stuff like that in it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there is kind of a precedent for it. So like that's fine. But like I can kind of see like the bare necessities part is honestly not that bad because I think like that it fits a bit more with what's going on at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the King Louis thing is just kind of weird. And okay, so the other problem that I have is that like you kind of don't really spend that. Well, we kind of tried to put this. We don't really spend very much time with any of the characters. Like, there's really only 4 characters who you spend like any decent amount of time with, and that would be Mowgli, Bagheera, Baloo, and Shere Khan.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I mean, I would say maybe I thought that Bagheera's characterization was done a little bit more like fatherly, so I liked him a little bit better in this version of him.
Yeah, he's decent. Mowgli, I just find is kind of, again, just kind of fine. He's there. I don't know. You just don't really have anything particularly of note for him. I was trying to actually. Well, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. Baloo, I honestly find to be kind of annoying.
Yeah, I would say I like the original Baloo better.
Yeah.
And then
Because I guess like he's kind of out of his element with the tone shift.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
I don't remember like what like Baloo's original like personality was in the book or anything like that, so I can't comment. But because then I'm thinking like, how would they kind of do Baloo like seriously, right? And I could think of it as kind of, well, they'd have to be kind of father-y, but like, the kind of maybe more of like the angle of kind of like the estranged father. Of course, though that's not who he is, but you kind of that at least personality type.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling like Bagheera is pretty close to that already.
Yeah.
So
Like the stern
yeah,
father.
yeah. So, but and then okay, Shere Khan. So, the whole point of Shere Khan in this is that he hates man because like Mowgli's father like burned his face, right? So, did he just like not realize Mowgli was alive for like however old Mowgli is? Even though he lives in this jungle with like all of these animals that like apparently can talk to each other and like give info like across vast distances.
I guess so.
That's kind of dumb. Because I was trying to look up like how old the actor was who's playing Mowgli, but it doesn't say. Apparently, he like doesn't have a Wikipedia page or whatever. So, but
he
I would
looks
guess 10, 10, something.
Yeah.
Something
8,
like that.
like 8 at the youngest, maybe. So,
Yeah.
but I'm like 8 years of him, living with the wolves, and wolves are social animals going all over the place, and like Shere Khan never noticed. Like, congratulations. I don't know. It's just kind of dumb. So
Maybe he was nursing his burnt nose.
for 8 years.
Yeah.
He couldn't smell
I don't
anything
know.
for 8 years. He couldn't smell.
Yeah. So again, this is a minor thing, but the only other thing I can think of that I kind of wish they did more was I feel like I wanted a bit more in the beginning.
Oh yeah, like
'cause-
with the wolf pack. And
Yeah,
stuff.
because it's like he kind of runs away or whatever, like really early, like 15 to 20 minutes in.
Mhm.
And it's like I maybe like cut some of the stuff with like Baloo in the middle and then have more of maybe cut the stuff with Baloo a little bit, cut out the singing with King Louie, and then feed that time in with like the beginning. I guess I don't know, because I kind of feel like we're on the adventure already when I like don't know anybody. So yeah, but again, like all of these things, they're not like, oh my god, I think this is a terrible mistake. How could they have done this? The film's ruined because of it, right? But it's like it's small things like that. That I think maybe take me out of it a little bit, even though, again, overall, things are still, like, again, as I said, fine. So,
Yeah.
I'm similarly ranked to this as, like, the Cinderella remake.
I guess the thing with like this movie is that it has the potential to do more, but it didn't actually do more.
I could see that. I mean, for me, like, I see the Cinderella remake as more, like, split, because it's more like some of the changes are good, some of the changes are bad, right? Whereas this, I'm just like, everything's fine. So,
Yeah.
kind of, how do you kind of judge that, right? So,
Yeah.
I was going to say that the scene that stuck out to be the most in this movie, especially the first time I was watching it, is the scene where like Shere Khan goes to like the wolf pack in the beginning after Mowgli leaves, and he's like talking to the father wolf and stuff, and then all of a sudden he like in a split second he kind of just throws the father wolf off the cliff and everything.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was not nice.
I was gonna say that completely took me off guard because I don't think they even showed like the wolf pack that much in the original film. So I was under the impression that all the wolves are alive, but apparently not.
Thanks a lot, Shere Khan.
Honestly,
Asshole.
I found it kind of funny.
Oh my
Just
god.
how he gets, like, yeeted off the cliff, just like, woo! It's like, oh my god, it just looks silly. So like, that's what I mean. Like, there's a few times where the movement's like a little bit off, but yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, again, I don't really think anyone who watches this is gonna like come away from it being like, oh, it was terrible, you know. So, and it's not very long, so I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it. So I guess that's something. I don't know. I mean, let's see. Of the movies we've seen so far this year, I would say it's the worst, but you two probably would say Deadpool's worse. But
Oh yeah, we watched Deadpool.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But again, even then, this is not bad at all.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I don't remember the exact ranking number, but yeah, this is net positive for me for sure. So I guess overall that's a good start for 2016.
Yeah.
And well, going forward, actually the next movie is one that I've heard. Well, I've mostly heard very good things about it. So, and it's one that's pretty big. I think this was actually the highest grossing of the whole year, which might have been a bit surprising. But yeah, so jumping back into that whole big thing. So yeah, anything else about this or what's to come or anything like that?
Not really.
No, it's fine as you said. So
Okay.
if you're curious, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, there you go, and we'll go ahead to the next month.
See ya.
Woohoo.
Bye.